Hi guys, how are you doing? Welcome back. So today I want to talk to you about upgrading those backup chains when you did the upgrade of Veeam Backup and Replication from version 11 to version 12. In version 12, a new feature is introduced and is default for every repository. That means that every backup job is generating for every virtual machine a separate backup file, but also a separate metadata file. In version 11, that was different because there is in version 11 an option to have a per VM backup to improve performance for specifically for those large workloads. But then the metadata of all the backups, all the virtual machines in the same backup file is combined to one big metadata file, right? That's changed in version 12. And when you had that option checked in version 11 to generate per VM backups, when you did the upgrade to version 12, there is an option to upgrade those backup chains to that new format. Let me show you what I mean. Let's switch to Veeam's Helpcenter. I will leave the link to this Helpcenter article in the description below. Also, I will leave the link, the upgrade links to upgrade your version 11 of Veeam Backup and Replication to version 12 in the link below. Right. So as you can see here in version 12, this is what I'm talking about. The way of storing backups is the default option for newly added repositories starting from Veeam Backup and Replication version 11. This is the true per VM backup we are talking about because this option produces backup files, a separate backup files for every virtual machine in that backup job, but also a separate metadata file for every virtual machine in that backup job. This has a lot of advantages, of course, for moving VMs from one backup job to another backup job or moving VMs for one repository to another repository. It gives you a lot of flexibility and also it enhances the performance, right? So this is a very important option and I will show you how that option looks when you do the upgrade from version 11 to version 12. Let's get into it. So this is my version 11 server. The option I'm talking about for version 11, you need to have it enabled, is when you go to your backup repositories. As you can see, I have set up one repository here. The option I'm talking about in version 11 is go to the repository tab in the properties of the repository, click on advanced, and this is the option I'm talking about. Use per machine backup files. In version 11, this will create a separate backup file for every virtual machine in that same backup job, basically. But the metadata of all those virtual machines in that same backup job is still combined. It's still one metadata. One thing to notice is this option needs to be enabled for the first moment you use that backup repository in version 11. If you want that upgrade option available in version 12 to upgrade those backup chains, right? Because if this option is not enabled in version 11 and it already has backup data in it, that repository, well, version 12 will not present you with the upgrade option and it will basically keep working on that same version 11 feature. So version 11 is creating backups. It's storing them on this disk. Let's see what it looks like. There is one backup job here. That backup job has two virtual machines in it. And as you can see, there is already some restore points are already there. It's creating backup jobs. It has 3 restore points. When we go to the folder where it's keeping those backups, you can see that every virtual machine in that backup job has its own backup file because we have enabled that per VM backup option in version 11. And there is one metadata file where all the metadata of all the virtual machines in that backup job is being kept. So when we do the upgrade from version 11 now to version 12, I will do it just now, and then version 12 will detect that there is a per VM option enabled in that backup job, and it will give you the option to upgrade the backup chain to the new format. Let's get into it. I will just upgrade this installation to version 12. Check my video below on that process. Alright guys, so the upgrade has finished successfully. Let's click on finish and start the console. And within the console, I will now show you what the option looks like. So you can see I have still my backup job there for those 2 virtual machines. And when I click on disk and I click on the backup chain, right, you see here that I have an upgrade backup chain format. This is the option I'm talking about. This is new in version 12, and starting version 12, it's default, right? So when I upgrade this backup chain to the new chain format, it will not only create per VM backups, but it will also create per VM metadata. And when clicking on upgrade here, it will convert these virtual machines, because this is the repository where the backup data still from version 11 is being stored. Now, when I click on, let me just minimize the window a little bit and place it side by side so we can see what's happening here. That's like this. All right. And now you see that when I click on upgrade backup chain format, you will be presented. Do you want to upgrade? Yes. And keep in mind, there is a time specified here, right? It takes about a minute per virtual machine. What happens basically, it's keep taking that combined metadata and basically generating separate metadata files for every virtual machine in that backup job. That's not taking very long, depending a little bit on the storage, of course, where that inventory, backup inventory is located. So make sure that's reasonably fast, and take into account that every virtual machine in that backup job will take about a minute to upgrade or convert, right? So let's click on OK and let the process start. You will see the backup chain format upgrade window, and now it's doing its thing. You can follow all the steps, what it's doing, and as you can see on the right side, it is already generating new metadata file for every virtual machine in that repository, in that backup repository. It said, well, it should take about a minute per virtual machine. As you can see, it is successfully completed. Everything is fine. Click on close, and from now on, you can use that new per VM, the true per VM option in version 12 for those backup jobs. What it does, that's why the warning was presented in that other screen. It disables that backup job. First, it will disable the backup job, and then it will start the conversion, right? So after the conversion has been completed, just come back here and enable that backup job again. It's enabling the backup job, and now we are done. The backup chain has been upgraded to the new version used in version 12. We have enabled our backup job again after the conversion, and now we are able to take backup jobs again, to create backups again. So that's the process when you upgrade Veeam Backup and Replication from version 11 to version 12. That's the steps you have to do to take to upgrade those backup chains as well. After upgrading the backup chains, enable the backup job, everything will be running fine again. As always, thank you for watching and see you guys soon. Take care.